Testing. It's on. I have one question. Did you like the food? At this point, we get ready to start our program. And for those of you who are sitting with your back towards the stage, feel free to totally turn your chair around so you can sit comfortably and pay attention to the speaker and get yourselves situated. So for the next few voices you'll hear, I have the privilege of introducing Mr. Mike Potempa, the director of the Soccer Institute at Montverde Academy. And many of you may already be familiar with this, but this gives me an opportunity to present maybe just a few more details about Mr. Potempa, who will then come up and introduce our speaker for tonight. So just a few things about Mr. Potempa. He's a former U.S. national team member, played at the U17 level, U18, U20, U23 levels, represented the United States in the 1995 FIFA U17 Youth World Cup. He's a three-time All-American and captain at Clemson University, helping to lead the Clemson Tigers to an ACC championship in 1998. He's a first, and I want to put a little emphasis on this and maybe add a comment. But he was the first male soccer player in Clemson's program history to be recognized as an academic and an athletic All-American in the same year. Let's pause for a second. And let's just put an exclamation point on that, because I want to make sure we're on the same page and see if you see what I see. And maybe we can share with the parents that we see the same thing. There are some people who would think that everything at Montverde Academy is about athletics, or athletics gets more emphasis than academics. Do you feel that athletics is more important than academics based on what Mr. Potempa has taught you? Do you think athletics is more important? Do you think, oh yeah? Somebody say yeah? Do you think academics is more important based on what Coach Potempa tells you and teaches? Yes? Well, if anybody said no, let's talk later, okay? But I said that to say, to really exclamate this point, that it's very special to be an All-American, academic All-American, and athletic All-American at the same time. That's the point I want to make, and you see that in the way he teaches and runs the program. Coach Potempa holds a USSF A coaching license. He spent 7 years as a Division I college coach at Clemson. And after having spent 7 years coaching at the collegiate level, he came to Montverde Academy. Coming to Montverde Academy as a successful coach at Clemson, a successful athlete, having played at Clemson, he brought those winning ways to our program here. He began in 2010 as the boys varsity soccer team coach, and in only his first season, the 2010-11 year, Coach Potempa led the Eagles to their first undefeated season in school history with a final record of 26 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. And this was a record as such that would cause the program to be crowned the national champions via ESPN Rise Magazine and Powerade 50 Fab 50. And that starts the story of Montverde and soccer. In 2012, under Patempa's leadership, the Eagles were once again recognized as the best high school program in the United States by MaxPreps.com. And for the second consecutive year, every senior in that class received an athletic scholarship to either an NCAA or NAIA institution. He came in 2010, and since 2010, the boys varsity program has been named Consensus National Champions for 7 consecutive seasons. Let's give a round of applause. Those are team accomplishments, but within those team accomplishments, we do get some individual accomplishments. Those hanging banners are examples of individual accomplishments, also including over 150 student athletes to graduate and go on and garner athletic and academic scholarships to colleges and universities across the country. And we've had, in addition to this, we've had 18 student athletes who have signed first-team professional contracts in Europe, South America, Major League Soccer, and United Soccer League. I would say Mr. Patempa knows his stuff. Agree? Yeah. But most importantly, we know him as a family man. Married, 2 kids, and there hasn't been a time that as the athletic director, when I'm walking around and I hear the coaches communicating with the student athletes and things like that, there hasn't been a time I haven't walked by Coach Patempa and I in some way, somehow didn't hear, or I always hear him refer to La Familia. Yeah, he's a family man. So at this time, he'll be introducing our guest speaker, but I want to tell you just a little bit about the director of the SIMA program. If you please come forward, Mr. Mike Patempa.
Good evening. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Mr. DeNarvis Thornton, who's our Director of Athletics, for his leadership in this institution. I once held the title of Director of Athletics, and I know how difficult of a task it can be, especially with the level we operate. But we really appreciate all of your leadership and what you do for our program and allowing us to function the way that we do. I'd like to thank Ms. Kalina Myers for this fantastic meal. It was probably in my 8 years here the best banquet dinner that I've ever had. So Kalina, thank you very much. Parents, friends, guests, and SIMA student athletes, welcome to our first ever SIMA-specific athletic banquet. I just want to go over a few things in my mind as to why we're here and explain a little bit about where we've come from. When I arrived here in 2010, Montverde Academy was not even close to what you see today. This building actually was a cow pasture. Our soccer field had no grass, no nets, and we played all of our high school games on the road. The athletic center didn't exist up there. No Cruyff court. We'd have to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. to do workouts in the gymnasium because there was no weight room here, and that one was for the student activities after school, so there was no time. And we started really with a class of 24 players that decided to take a chance to come to a school in Orlando and try something completely different in their lives. Many of them, actually most of them, left their families at a young age to come here and take a chance. And I started as an English teacher in the 7th and 8th grade, English and writing teacher, middle school, and a soccer coach. So one of the things that I'm most proud about this evening is the fact that I'm looking out in a crowd where 8 years ago I had an idea but I didn't know where it would take us, and I'm very happy now that this gymnasium is almost filled with dedicated families, dedicated student athletes who took the same risk or are currently taking the same risk that our 24 boys took in 2010, and the results continue to improve. And it's through your work that Montverde Academy is now starting to be known around the world, around the country, for academics, for athletics, for arts, many different things that the school has to offer. But it's the student athletes that make it possible. And why are we here this evening is to celebrate your work. Because a lot of times I get the idea, or I get the question, what is SIMA? I get this question all the time. Is it a soccer program? Is it a team? Is it a, what is it? Because I see it. I see everyone training all day long. I know there's a lot of kids in it. I know there's kids from around. I just don't get it. And for me, what SIMA really is and what we try to instill in you guys, SIMA is an idea. It's a concept. We use soccer as a motivating tool to bring out the best in people and teach them about life. Every single day is a challenge. And what you guys don't understand is we're all focused on soccer, as we know. But what are you actually learning out of the SIMA experience? You're learning many things about life that will carry you on when you're in college, when you have a job, when you have a family. Things such as respect, things such as a work ethic, taking responsibility, being honest, learning what a work ethic really means if you want to get something, dealing with failure, dealing with success, dealing with responsibility in the community, learning how to give that back to those who are less fortunate, learning what academics can do for your life, understanding the power of being a team, understanding how to get along with people you may or may not like in order to breed success. See, these things aren't only just in a soccer game at Bishopsgate on a Saturday afternoon. My idea back in 2010, and still remains, is that you are here learning values of life through sport, through education, that will last you well beyond your time at Montverde Academy. And if we look back at this year, you all have done an incredible job in going after the same idea that it was my concept in 2010, to where each and every day was very difficult. Training every day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6, sacrificing time away from your family in this type of weather conditions, 10 months of the year, sometimes not starting, sometimes not playing, not understanding what this is all about. I'm on this team, or I want to be on that team, or my friend is on this team. It's all there for a reason, because this is life. Life is not easy. And what you're learning is how to deal with some of these concepts and deal with some of these successes, to deal with some of these failures in a sporting environment with a bunch of coaches who have tremendous experience in helping you through. And I can honestly say that one of my joys of this program is watching every time, this time of year, the senior class, where they started and where they are now. Because I can guarantee you that every single senior, whether you've been with us for a year, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, you become a better person, you become a better student, and you become a better athlete. In that order: person, student, and athlete. Because not all of us can be professional soccer players. Very few will ever make it to that level. So we have to be prepared for what comes next if that dream, if that idea does not come true. And education will never let you down. And this is why discipline, respect, education will last you the rest of your lifetime. Your athletic ability will come and it will go. And so I'm very happy to stand before you tonight and congratulate all of you for the hard work that you put in, not only in the classroom and on the field, but being good representatives of the SIMA program, what we expect every single day. And as you know, those who don't give 100% of themselves every single day we will know and we will let you know that it's unacceptable. Because the standard at Montverde Academy, especially in the soccer program, is a higher standard of expectation on and off the field than pretty much anywhere else in the high school ages that you'll find in the world. And what I believe is that the SIMA program and what we stand for, what we have to offer, and the true development that goes on here as a person, a student, and an athlete is one of the best in the world. I truly believe that. And some of the successes, not only wins, but more so for me, what type of schools our young men wind up getting scholarships to or attending. How many professionals we've produced out of a school. That number has now gone to 26. So since 2013, we have 26 student athletes who came here, may have learned English, graduated, and signed a professional contract at 18 years of age through the power of this school. And that you can't find anywhere. And what I'm happy about is the fact that you all are prepared. The senior class is prepared for your college experience in the classroom. You're prepared for your college experience if you go on to play soccer. And you're prepared for life. So whenever your soccer ability finds an end, you'll be a successful person. And one of the things I'm very proud about is now we're starting to get some of that first generation. Anderson Cardozo, Saul Chinchilla, David Graydon, followed the same path as you all, went to school, played, and now return and are helping you every day on the field, in the classroom, and helping Montverde continue to build with people who have been through this experience and are very good role models. And this, to me, is the best part of the SIMA program. It's not so much about the wins. It's not so much about all the games we play. It's about a culture of success and excellence that helps young men find their way, prepare for college, find a discipline, and learn about life through sport, and be prepared along the way through education. So I would like to congratulate every single person in this room. I know that this SIMA program is difficult. It's not easy. It's challenging. But you all have done a tremendous job this year, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of the staff for every single minute you've put in to your hard work on the field and in the classroom, because this is one of the most, if not the most successful year that we've ever had. Congratulations to you all. I can remember in 2000, I was named captain of Clemson University's team. And I wanted to bring in all of the former players, or actually the new players, this freshmen coming in, and the players that we had coming back a couple weeks early to have captain's practice. And I remember getting a phone call one day after one of our training sessions from Oguchi Onyewu, who told me that he had a back issue and he wasn't able to make it on time into coming in early, but that he was very sorry and he apologized for not being able to make it in on time. I said, no problem. We're looking forward to having you, and I can't wait for you to come, because I'd heard a lot about him. I followed him in the World Cup, and we had at that time 3 or 4 players from the U17 national team joining us as freshmen at Clemson University. And that was my first ever encounter with Gooch, who, you know, at that young age had the responsibility enough to call me and let me know he wasn't going to be there at the time that everyone else is going to be there. And that was sort of, it always stuck in my mind. I remember that, because you don't normally get a 17, 18-year-old kid to call a teammate and let him know these things. What no one really knows is that when I started the SIMA program in 2013, I was looking for an ambassador of the program. I was looking for somebody who lives the same morals and has the same values that I do about education and sport at the highest level. And I actually called Gooch to see if he would be our ambassador. He was my first choice, because at that time, of course, he was a very world-renowned athlete in the soccer world. But more importantly, my time at Clemson, getting to know him and what type of person he was the most important to me. It wasn't that he was a famous soccer player, he played in World Cups. That part was obviously important for you all, but for me, what was most important is the type of person that he is, despite having all the success that he's had. Unfortunately, due to certain conditions, he wasn't able to do it, but our guest speaker tonight is somebody very special to myself and also to Pablo Webster, who also works with us, because, you know, I was a senior when he was a freshman in college. And I only spent 6 months playing with him because then I went on, and after 2 years at Clemson, he moved on to Europe. But our guest speaker, a little bit of information for him tonight. He's originally from Washington, D.C. in Maryland. I'm from Maryland. Pablo's from Maryland. We all went to Clemson together. He's a central defender, if you don't know. You'll see him in a little bit, and you can see why. He played at Clemson in 2000, 2001. He was on the U17 national team, played in the World Cup with Landon Donovan, DeMarcus Beasley. He was in that generation. Played for the U20 national team. After 2 years at Clemson University, he decided to take his career to the next level and go to FC Metz in France. And some of the clubs that he's played for: Standard Liège in Belgium, Newcastle United in England, Sporting Lisboa in Portugal, AC Milan in Italy, Queen's Park Rangers, Scotland, Sheffield Wednesday, England, Charlton Athletic, and last year he was with the Philadelphia Union. He also played in the 2006 and 2010 World Cups for the United States. He has a career of total of 290 caps and 24 goals for the U.S. national team. One of the things I admire most about him is that although his career is starting to come to a close and he's starting to plan his future, this morning I called him and said, "Hey, what's your plan today?" And he said, "Man, I got to study." And one of the things I admire about him is he's still working towards his degree to finish his college education at Clemson, even though it could be very easy for him to try to do some business adventures and not return to school. But this is a guy who's done it at all levels, the national team to Europe as a professional, but yet he still understands what's important in his own life, which is his education. And I really admire that about him, because you don't meet many people who have gone the distance that he has and played in Europe for that many years, but still is as grounded and understanding about life and what's the most important for his future. So we have a few video. So I'd like to turn on Coach Mr. Gilbert. We can cue the video so you can kind of see a little bit about a little more about Gucci Onyewu, and then he'll come up and speak to you all.
Everyone knows that defense wins championships. It's not a secret. Every game that we can leave without having a goal scored on us, for me, that's a perfect game. You know you've done something right when you got a bobblehead. I know Landon's got one already, so I'm catching up. Let's see.
Anytime he's one-on-one with someone, someone's going at him, he doesn't lose. I've almost never seen it happen.
Players have that much confidence to stare down a world-class player and denying him any opportunity to score. That's when we've got players that can compete on the world stage.
I think they pick on him because with his height, they feel he's intimidating. So the referees always keep an eye on him.
You ask me being a forward, I don't like playing against him because he's so big.
Definitely, I think my size has made me a target. Whatever, you know. Thus far in my career, it's been an asset.
And I first met him, he was this little skinny, scrawny kid that, he was just a little guy, but he was very talented.
When he was growing up, he was very skinny, but as time went on, he started exercising.
Gooch was not your normal freshman. He was towering above all the players. That goal he scored against UAB, where he was clearly above the goalkeeper's hands. There's no question. He dominated college soccer.
From the moment that I committed in Clemson, he told me, you know, I don't want you for 4 years because you're not the kind of player that should stay in college for 4 years.
He needed to be challenged at a higher level to find out where his game could go, and that game had to be in Europe.
The coach encouraged him, so he wanted to go. I said, "No, you can't. you have to go to school.
A couple European clubs showed interest as well, but my parents wouldn't tell me. They actually hid the fact that there were other teams interested in me.
I think he felt like, I want to make this decision. I'm not going to let anyone tell me what to do. When I'm ready, I know when I'll be ready.
European culture revolves around football. It's different, you wouldn't get this kind of attention in America. So. When I first got here, it was a big culture shock in terms of language, and trying to teach myself French, and then talking to players, and just hearing the words every day, you kind of pick them up and just go with the flow with it.
La fille qui a elle, ça, 24 heures, c'est 24 heures, elle dort avec dans son portefeuille.
I don't think I'll ever blend in with the European. My heart's just too close to home to do that. Playing in Europe has forced me to progress rapidly. I know that every year I'm getting a little bit better and a little bit more experience under my belt.
In the first qualifier against Mexico in Mexico City, it was a tremendous stage for a young player to go into and have the responsibility of marking one of the top forwards in Mexican history.
He scored a goal. I was the one marking him.
If you turn over the ball in the back and it results in a goal, you're not going to be playing much.
One of the most important things that you have to do is being able to accept the game that you play, because you really can't change it. The second game, he didn't do anything, and I was the one marking him.
After that game against Mexico, and the next night we were talking about it, just said, I'm ready for the next challenge.
If I went to Germany, I don't even know if words can explain, because that's a lot of players that will never be able to play in that competition.
He's been an unbelievable player for the last, 5, 6, 7 months. I'm glad he's with us, and he's a monster, big boy.
Knowing Gooch after Germany, I think the world will be abuzz. He is an explosion waiting to happen. Can do a lot for soccer in this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present this year's guest speaker, Mr. Oguchi Onyewu.
Good evening. Y'all sleeping? I don't really know what to say right now after Mike pretty much stole my speech, but I'll try and figure out something. I never like to say that I'm a public speaker. I like to say that I speak in public. So when I talk or when I speak, I want to interact with you guys. If you guys have questions when I'm up here, if you want something to say, ask me. This is what it's all about. Ultimately, we're all here celebrating you as student athletes, students before athletes. I know some of you don't understand that right now, but 10 years from now you will. If you don't know about me, after watching this video that I've never seen, my name is Oguchi Onyewu. I've known Mr. Webster over there and Mr. Potempa for almost 20 years. I know we don't look that old, but we've known each other for quite some time. I've played in 2 World Cups. I've played 10 years with the U.S. national team. Like was spoken, I've played in France, Belgium, England, Italy, Portugal, Holland, Spain, America. So to say the least, I've traveled the world a little bit. And at one point, I was the student athlete sitting in front of somebody talking to me like I'm doing to you today. So first, thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell my story a little bit and to speak with you guys. So my story does not start like most people's do. My parents were immigrants from Nigeria. I'm first generation born in this country. They came to this country with literally nothing except for their hopes and their aspirations to start a family and to provide for their children what they didn't have in Africa. Excuse me. They taught me and my siblings that nothing in this world was owed to you or was ever given to you. If you desired or you wanted something, you were required to work for it. And I'm going to pause real quick and ask you guys if you understand what that means. And don't be shy to raise your hand and speak. And if the parents want to speak as well, don't be shy over there. Now, what does it mean to you guys to work for it, or that it's required? Someone better raise their hand. I'm going to pick someone out. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. I couldn't have said it much better. Working for something means there's never a break. There's never off time. It consumes you. When you want to achieve in something, whether it's on the soccer field, whether if you want to win a game, you're gonna train hard, you're gonna be fit, you're gonna try and outplay the opponent, right? Just like in school, if you want to do well on a test, you're gonna study, you're gonna read, you're gonna ask your teachers for help, you're gonna get tutors. It's gonna consume you until you acquire your goal. This has been a forefront in my life in everything that I do, in everything I try to accomplish, and whenever I speak to people. I'm sure Mr. Potempa, Coach Potempa, Mike Potempa, my brother over here, he can tell you the same. I personally know what he's gone through in the last 8 years in regards to building this, I don't even know if you can call it a school. This is like a small city to me. I mean, I've never seen anything like this for students of your age, but the blood, sweat, and tears that has been put into this program, put into this school, in order for you guys to have the opportunity that past generations didn't have. That's what working for it means. That's what's required for success. Being the fourth of 5 children, competition was a daily thing. Attention wasn't given to you, you had to find it. If my parents came to America with nothing, weren't rich, they had to work for it, what excuse do you think I had if I wasn't going to make something of myself? If people can come to a foreign country and achieve success to a limit that they raise 5 children to all go to school, 3 have doctorates, and 1 of them become a professional athlete. What do their offspring have? What kind of excuse do we have not to succeed in life? A lot of you might come from similar backgrounds, maybe even worse, maybe conditions that are unspeakable. But despite all that, despite the path that you guys have all taken, what do you have in common? I need hands. I need hands. No. Next. What do you think you all have in common? You don't know? You guys aren't wearing the same outfits right now? You're not wearing the same uniform? You guys are all at the same goal. You took different paths, but you're all in the same destination. Education, in my eyes, is a continuum. It never stops. I'm 36 years old. It's hard to say that, I just turned 36. 36 years old today. When I left Clemson University, I was a sophomore, and so I ended my college education short. As Mr. Patempa said, I didn't have to go back to school, but it was something that I promised my mother. And I told her, I said, regardless of the fame or the money or anything else that I acquire on the way, I promise you that I'll get my degree, because this means more to me, and this is everlasting, more than any soccer ball can give me. And don't get me wrong, soccer has given me a great platform. It's one of the reasons I'm here today speaking to you, and it's blessed me beyond measure in my life to be able to do things that I would never have been able to do. Meet people, speak to you, speak languages, acquire passports, travel the world, play with different players. Some of the greatest players in the world to ever play the game have been my teammates, you know. But despite that, in spite of all that, I would say when it happens, my greatest accomplishment will be to earn my college degree. Because for me, that would have been the most difficult thing to accomplish after everything else that I've done. As a kid, all of you want to be professional athletes, correct? Or no? I don't know. Do you? I'm asking you, I don't know. You all want to be professional athletes. Do you know what it takes to be a professional athlete? Who said that? The one, yeah. Yeah, right, you turn around. What does it take? Stand up. Enyo? What does it take? It does. It takes all of that. It takes hard work. It takes focus. It takes determination. And the path isn't always straight. I know you guys see on TV, you watch sports, you're probably watching the NBA Finals right now, or you watch soccer, Champions League. You see the glitz and the glamour. You see the stars. But what they don't show you is the larger percentage of people that never made it. I can tell you, out of 10 players that turn professional, out of the 10, probably 8 or more never make it to the top level. I was blessed to be able to live my dream, but conscious to know that many people who probably deserve to never will. You guys have opportunities today that are in front of you that a lot of people would kill to be in your position. Aspire to be an athlete. Aspire to go far. But don't let those aspirations derail you from important things, from your education, from your family, from being a good person. I can't tell you the number of people that I've crossed in my path, the number of athletes, fantastic athletes, that are just terrible persons. And for me, there's no credit to them. They haven't learned anything. Their life lesson, they're a failure. If all you have as an achievement is what the public sees, but your personal persona is garbage, then you've learned nothing in life. I know that here at Montverde at SIMA, they're teaching you guys how to be unbelievable athletes. I've seen it from your records. I've spoken to Mike throughout the years, and he's telling me how you guys beat up on teams like they're nothing. I think in every discipline in this school, basketball, soccer, swimming, everyone, you guys do great. But I think one of the best things that I've seen in the last couple of days that I've been here is the integrity that they're instilling in you as young adults, as young men, because I think that's going to push you further than any soccer ball will ever push you. The path in life, the path in soccer, it's not easy. It's not straight. And success isn't always immediate. I know you've seen or you're reading videos and you're reading some of my accomplishments, and I can tell you without a doubt there have probably been 5 times in my life that I would have quit soccer, that I wasn't chosen for a team, that a coach didn't pick me up. And I think it's those failures, for me personally, is what I'm in here in front of you speaking today. Those failures are what made me a success. Those failures are what allowed me to have the courage and the strength to kick down the doors and to prove people wrong. I don't want to bore you guys because I feel some of you guys in the front row are sleeping. But I do want to say that the main objective, my main goal, and the main message I want to tell you guys are, whether in acquiring a degree, becoming a professional athlete, for me, you need to sacrifice for what you want. You need to work for what you want. And it's a little phrase I've heard and I use to my friends all the time. I say, sacrifice for what you want, or else what? What do you think comes next? What you want becomes the sacrifice. You guys understand that? Don't live with regrets. Don't look back saying, oh man, I should have done it. I could have been better. I should have been better. I should have studied more. I could have done better on that test had I, if I. There are many paths, like I said. You guys are the only drivers of your car. Make sure it's going to the right direction. Make sure you end to your destination. I'd like to close by saying thank you. Thank you to Mike Potempa for inviting me today to speak a couple words. Hopefully it resonates with you guys. Thank you for the parents and the students. As I said, we're celebrating you guys. This isn't about me. I'm a little older than all you guys. I've passed on. And my purpose of being here is to pass through some of my knowledge so that you guys in the next years are speaking to the next students and giving your knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that speech, Gooch. One of the unique things that I took from that myself, him and I didn't talk before this speech as to what he was going to say or how he was going to say it. But what do you find interesting about what he said? Nico. Have you heard those things before? It's the same thing we preach here every day. The same type of message, the same type of idea, and yet we didn't speak beforehand. So what you have to understand is every day we meet and we have these long meetings in the weight room or in the foyer here, it's not because we just want to meet once a week. It's because we're trying to help you get to where you want to be and where you want to go. Okay, so I found that speech extremely rewarding simply because it's the same messaging that you've been hearing from a guy who's done it at every level. So, moving forward, we'll now get to the presentations of awards. We're doing something a little bit different this year, and I'll explain how it's going to go. Parents, I'll explain kind of how the program works so you have a better understanding. We have multiple teams in the SIMA program, and it's all based on ability level. We don't do things here according to age. Many club teams around the country do things all 2005s, all 2006s, all 2007s. We do things simply what's a good fit for the team ability-wise in order to improve players, because it's our idea that we don't want anyone in any group being the best player. We must find a way to challenge them, put them in an uncomfortable situation to then work to one day become comfortable in and when they used to be uncomfortable in that team, and then we move them on. Some guys stay there for a while, some guys move quite quickly, but again, it's our idea to challenge you and see how you react. So normally speaking, what we've done before in the past is that the boys varsity high school team has been given 3 awards. And that's quite difficult when you're dealing with 200 student athletes in a SIMA program, only 3 different awards. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have each of the coaches come up, speak a tiny little bit about their season in the fall, and then give 3 different awards. And the awards that we give are the Eagle Award, the Most Improved Player Award, and the Coaches Award. I'll explain the difference between each award so you understand when each of our student athletes per team get the award. The Eagle Award is pretty much the most valuable player or a special player within the team that allowed the team to function at the highest level. It's not necessarily the best player, but it's the most valuable player, and that can be many different things according to many different ideas of the coach. The Most Improved Award recognizes a player who showed drastic improvement no matter what level throughout the year. Where they started and where they ended, they've improved tremendously from where they used to be to where they are today. Is most improved. The Coach's Award is someone who the coach feels is deserving of an award for whatever reason that may be. Maybe because they show up every day with a smile on their face. Maybe because they have a great attitude every day at practice. Maybe because they're very encouraging in training. Maybe because they're a great player. It can be many different things, but it's the Coach's Award, and they give it to who they want based on whatever reason they feel is important to the team. These are the 3 awards that each of the teams will receive this evening. We'll start off with a question. Who is the first attacker on the field? Who's the first attacker on the field? Goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper is the first attacker on the field, and since we like to play an attacking style and score goals, we're going to start off with the Goalkeeper of the Year. This is a new award that we've never really had before. Just because it's only been us tonight, we feel as though the goalkeepers need to be honored. We have a collection of goalkeepers, 13 to 14 based on the day, from all different ages, all different parts of the world. And first I'd like to call up our goalkeeper coach, Mr. Iñaki Samaniego. Iñaki comes to us from Spain. It's his first year. He sacrifices a lot to be here with you all, as his wife lives in Poland, and he was here working to make you guys better goalkeepers each and every day. He works with all age groups, works with all goalkeepers to help them become better at what they do and also provide them with the tools they need to play at the next level. So I'll turn it over to Iñaki for the Goalkeeper of the Year.
Okay, good evening everyone. It's time to reward the best goalkeeper of the year here at the SIMA program. I believe that it has been a very positive and productive year for the goalkeepers here in the SIMA program. With every goalkeeper that we had reaching new heights in all the aspects of the game, being that tactical, technical, physical or psychological. The player that we have chosen for this award has shown true passion for the position, always with a very positive attitude to receive and accept all the constructive criticism from the coaches. Always has been working hard and pushing himself to get as far and as better as he can. But especially for always being there for the SIMA program. Whenever we needed a helping hand, being that in games, trainings, tryouts, everything, you name it, he was always there for us to help us. So I'm really happy to present the award of the Best Goalkeeper of the Year to Mr. Matt Douglas.
Matt Douglas will be playing at the Division I level next year at UCF, so he'll stay local. And he'll be playing in the University of Central Florida, which is Division I school, at a very good conference. And we look forward to following his progress along the way. So congratulations to Matt. The next presenter is a very good friend of mine. We played together with Gooch and at Clemson. He was my roommate for 4 years, and I started playing in the same club team as the same age as you all, and now he's here to help give back to the game. He took this particular team in the fall as we were getting settled and worked with Paris Saint-Germain. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Pablo Webster.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Coach Webster, and I'd like to just take a few minutes to describe the wonderful adventure I had with being coach of Paris Saint-Germain. From a personal perspective, I'll take you back a little bit. It was a couple of months, and I had just first arrived in a fairly new environment. Coaching was not something new to me, but Coach Potempa asked me to coach this team, and fairly young group, a group that was a bit inexperienced. He asked me to focus on the basics, the core fundamentals, things that need to be worked on from a group of that level. After spending a lot of time learning, listening, instructing the players, I found myself becoming actually quite inspired by these guys. And it was such a fun, new experience for me. I end up getting so much out of it. So as a coach, there's certain qualities that are very important for us as we evaluate the kids, as we think about how to build the character of a team. One, willingness to learn. Number two, a desire to work really hard. And three, humility. And so the team that I work with exhibited all of these qualities in abundance. And it was something that I didn't expect. As we continued to work day after day after day, it was actually incredibly rewarding to see them grow as people, as players, as individuals. And I was impressed. I was very impressed, you know. But whether it was Puella getting a little frustrated by some of the fitness and some of the balance work that we did, or my good friend Andreas constantly asking me whether a particular cone should be in this spot or maybe 3 inches away, and why did we do it this way? You know, I learned all of these things and saw that it was a well-rounded team. It was a well-rounded team. We had our little quirks, but we continued to improve, continued to work hard, and we stayed focused on all of our goals. So fast forward to the spring, when the team plays in a couple more games. They've had a really great spring season. They've had tremendous success. Coach Ricardo, who had them a little bit, will probably try and take all the success. I understand that. He'll take all the credit. But I hope that I played a small role in their development. And I look forward to watching them for the next couple of years, because most of these guys are younger. And it'll be a real pleasure to see what happens in 2 to 3 or 4 years when these guys get a little bit older. So let me present the awards. First, the Eagle Award for us is going to be Eduardo Nunez. Our next award for the most improved player is going to be Nicholas Peter. All right, and for our last Coaches Award, it is Andreas Fabrik.
Congratulations to Eduardo, Nicholas, and Andreas. I would like now to call up Coach Anderson Cardozo, who is in charge of Barcelona. I can tell you, Anderson came here. Anderson arrived at Montverde Academy in 2010 from Brazil. He did not know English. He came here with a small dream. He graduated in 2 years, was the captain of our 2 national championship teams, went on to a full scholarship and played in college. And one night on Facebook, I got a message from him, and he was asking what the next step for him was. And I told him, you need to finish your degree, and when that happens, I promise you, I'll hire you at SIMA to help work and give back to the guys. Because he truly cares about this program. And right here before you is the ultimate example of what the SIMA program stands for. Someone who came here not knowing, taking a risk, making the most of his life, getting his education, and now he's right back in the same seat helping the guys. And I can tell you, if there's one person who loves this program more than anyone, it's Coach Anderson Cardozo. So without further ado, Mr. Barcelona, you're up.
This is worse than senior speech. But now at least I can speak English. All right. Thank you, Mike. By the way, though, it's crazy to see a program that started with 20 players, 20-something, because some of them were not really into soccer, to all of these right here. For real, it's crazy. All right, so let's start it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. For real, it is. So let's have a lot. My boys! Before I start here, I would like to thank the volunteers, people with cameras, the people that were helping with the food, the MVA staff, the SIMA coaches that teach me every single day, SIMA staff, those guys are amazing. You guys are in good hands. And of course, you players. All right. So every day makes me so happy to shake your guys' hand, to say how you're doing, and to be able to coach you guys and teach you guys something. I was very fortunate to have SIMA Barcelona this year, and I learned so much with these people. Like, kids are like, they are so pure, they're so innocent, they are so like outgoing, they just do things, you know, like it's lovely to be with people like that every day. It makes you think every day like, am I complaining, am I saying some stuff that I shouldn't, or should I just have fun? Beginning of the year was kind of tough because some of the kids, they never like really liked to run. They thought they were gonna come here for like a PE class or something. So at first it was tough. Some of them were not very like, they didn't know how to deal with the culture because there are so many coaches around here. So it was tough at first, but we did a pretty good job. And the hardest thing for me was to teach them the SIMA style of play, that you have to press, you have to keep the ball, this, and that. But we did a pretty good job. We played games. We did some good job right here and there. The other, not too well, but we learned with our losses, that's for sure. Why do I say a lot of fun all the time for my kids? Why do you play the sport if you just play because you feel like somebody's telling you to do so? Once you do something for fun and because you enjoy what you do, it doesn't become a mandatory thing that you have to do. You just do it because you love. Just like my job. I don't really go to work because I'm working with soccer. I'm working with something that opened up the doors for me to get where I am right now. 10 years ago, when Ricardo Silva first saw me, I never had the dream of speaking English, meet people from different cultures, dress up in a tie and, you know, all fancy like this right here. I never thought about that. I swear to God, I never did. I'm the first one in my family to get a college degree. And it was because of this program right here. If it was an education, like they were saying right here, maybe I wouldn't be here. You know, so focus on education. Yeah. La familia. All right, first award of the night. This actually is my boy, my boy. Gustavo Storani. Eagle Award, Gustavo Storani. Most improved player, Gabriel Ariza. And Coach's Award goes to Pablo Sten Thomas. All right. Okay. It was hard for me to choose this because I worked with pretty much every team from SIMA Gold to the little ones, to the middle ones. Last year I worked with a bunch of you guys. I would like to also mention that Real Madrid this year won that tournament with me in Tampa. That was one of the biggest things we did this year, this semester. We also got to mention that because those boys deserve it. And happy birthday, Pavanelli. Thank you, boys.
Easy, huh? Parabéns, Claudio. I'd like to now call up one of our latest additions as a coach, Jose Silva. Jose, come on up, please. Silva, as we call him, arrived from Spain, but he was actually working in the Midwest when his resume came across the table. And he came with glowing recommendations, and I can honestly say, as a coach and as a person, he's exactly what we're looking for in this program. And he started his career here with us working with Real Madrid in the fall. So I've asked him to choose the awards and present to those who were with Real Madrid.
Thank you, Mike. Hi, everyone. I'm Coach Silva. I would like to speak a little bit about Real Madrid, SIMA Real Madrid. Only a little bit. 5 different nationalities: Brazil, Colombia, Germany, United States, and Hong Kong, here together for the same passion, soccer. Okay? This creates a perfect environment for a perfect season: 15 wins, 3 draws. Congratulations, guys. For the senior, I have to tell you that good luck in your next step in your life. For the guy from the SIMA player that stay here, be ready because we have a lot to learn on the pitch and in class, okay? And now we are going to move to present the awards. The Eagle Award is going to be for Juan Pablo Echeverri. The next award is the most improved player. It's going to be for Jamie Salah Neto. And last award is for a player that he is always with a smile in his face, doesn't matter the injury, doesn't matter if it's raining, doesn't matter if it's a bad day. And this guy is Christopher Jensen.
Congratulations to Juan Pablo, Jaime, and Christopher. Next up will be Tottenham with Coach Carlos Pedraza. Coach Carlos comes from the local area, originally from Venezuela. He's a futsal player, but also a coach who's eager for knowledge. He's started with us last summer and has done a fantastic job throughout the year coaching various teams. But he did a very, very good job with Tottenham in the fall. And he's a guy that's constantly seeking knowledge and never able to say no to a training session with any team. He always wants to be with us. He always wants to be involved and putting in a helping hand, which I really appreciate. Without further ado, Mr. Carlos Pedraza.
Oh, let's see how it goes. I don't prepare any speech because I'm pretty bad at reading in English. I'm basically still learning. But let me try to see what I can do. I feel really proud to be part of this family, players and coaches. For me, to be honest, I never thought when I started to be a coach 6 years ago here in this country that I was going to have an opportunity to coach in an institution that basically is a legacy. And I feel really proud to have the players that I had, the opportunity to work with different groups along the program, starting with my team Tottenham, the team that I had at the spring, Real Madrid, that moved the name, with SIMA Gold, and with every single, in every single practice that I had the opportunity to work. I live a really good experience coaching the MAST, winning the MAST with one of the U17 teams. And for me, it was a really good experience in so many ways. To the players, I hope you enjoy the experience. I hope you be ready to the people that is coming back next year to keep learning, to keep improving. I learned a lot about you, and the most important for me is this experience as a coach helped me in so many ways in my life, let me tell you. Coming from Venezuela, having so many issues, starting here in this country, I feel like sometimes I'm living a dream, and the most important for me to be a coach is see the product that every single coach is trying to put on the table, teaching lessons, working hard. But for me, the most important is be a better person, because be a coach, this is the opportunity that basically give to me in every single time and every single day. So I really appreciate the effort. I really appreciate to my players all the things that they did, and hopefully we are going to keep going with this. We are going to make this chapter longer, and we are going to keep enjoying with this beautiful sport that for me gave me everything. Thank you so much. I was going to say goodbye and don't give up any. Okay, so the Eagle Award is for a player. Basically, so many players deserve it. I'm pretty honest with you. But the Eagle Award is for Marcelo Assis. Okay, so the most improved award is for a player that I know for a little bit. Never was my player in club, but I know him pretty well. He came here injured, and I believe in him all the time, in his potential, and I think he's going to reach his real potential pretty soon. The most improved award is for Daniel Treganzin. Okay, so the award, Coach's Award is for the first captain that I had in Tottenham, Pedro Pellerin.
The next coach I'd like to call up is Leopoldo Jimenez for Juventus. Leo came the same time as Carlos did last summer. Both of them came together. And Leo is someone who has a vast experience as a professional soccer player. Played many times for Venezuela at the senior level, played many times in Europe. Had a very good career and is now getting his hands into coaching. He's very eager to learn. He's still working in his his coaching licenses, but he's also done a tremendous job with each team that he's taken. And I'd like him now to present on behalf of Juventus.
Good evening. Now the awards. Now, for me, it's hard to be here in front of you. I prefer to be there on the field. It's not my language, but I will try to do my best, like you do every day in practice. Okay. For me, it's a real pleasure to share this evening with all of you, parents, coaches, athletes, students. It was a big challenge for me. My mind every time was in a high level, in a professional level, but with you, Jones, I learned a lot from each one of you. how to handle this age, how to give all my knowledge that I acquire all my career. It's like to give back to the young students, to the young players, all that soccer gave me. But especially, don't forget to study. I left my study, I left my lessons to be a professional, but every day my mom asked me to complete a career, but at this point my career is to be coach. Is to learn, is to teach young players, but for you, my main advice is go and fight for your career, for your student career, for your professional career. After, if you want to fight for to be a professional soccer, do it. But first, go to college to get to achieve your goal as a student. Okay. Nothing else, just 3 words: motivate, value, achieve. Thank you. The Eagle Award to Adolfo Nicoloso is not here. Most improved, Luca Galitelli. Coach Award, Gabe Sittler.
Congratulations, Adolfo, Luca, and Gabriel. Next coach I'd like to call up, Coach Kevin Varnado. Coach Varnado is our longest standing coach in the program aside of me. And I got a call from him 2 weeks ago. Said he wouldn't be in on Monday, which is very rare for Coach Varnado not to be in. And I knew something was wrong. And I called him back, and he said he wouldn't be in. He got hit by a car when he was running on the trail. And it sounded pretty much like something you see out of the movies where you hit the windshield, shattered the windshield, rolled all the way over the top. But to his credit, he didn't stay out of the office long despite me telling him stay and rest. Coach Varnado dedicates all of his time and effort into this program since the beginning. He's seen it evolve, but he also handles a lot of the difficult work of the college placement and the academic side between SIMA and the administration. And I really appreciate all the work that he's shown and demonstrated and given to the program along the years, also to make it what it is. So Coach Varnado will speak on behalf of Borussia Dortmund.
All right, let's see how this goes. All right, good evening. So yes, I had the pleasure of working with Borussia Dortmund this year, which I truly enjoyed. It's safe to say that I'm not the easiest coach to play for, but the boys they handled it really well, I must say. And we had a good semester. The high school season was very, very good, successful, which carried through MAST, and the showcase just before that, and then basically into the rest of the spring season. So I definitely enjoyed it. Learned a lot from them. Hope they learned a bit from me as well. Excuse me. So with me, our group was interesting because it ranged a bit in ages. So like the most improved award was a little bit difficult because I think our youngest was a 2002 and our oldest was a 98. So there's a bit of a range in terms of, you know, how the kids are going to kind of develop. And the thing that I found after I got the group, it was basically split about down the middle in terms of returners and new players. You know, so we had some players that were well versed with SIMA and everything that Montverde Academy had to offer, and then we had some players that were brand new and really had no clue kind of what they were getting themselves into. So that was one of the things that I had to try to maybe recalculate my plan, but it was one of those things that I think over the course of the year, like I said, we definitely learned quite a bit from one another. And I mean, we even played the first high school game this year down in Melbourne on some really bad turf, and it wasn't a very good game, but we kind of found our way through it one way or another. And then basically by the end of January, we were playing really, really well. And like I said, I'm pretty difficult to deal with and pretty demanding, but so if you can please me as a coach, you've done something right, and they definitely did. Like I said, one of our last games against Merritt Island, there literally wasn't much I could say to them at halftime or even after the game because they just played so well. So for me to think that is saying something. But to get to the awards real quick, the Eagle Award winner. So this young man had contributions to the team, success in a number of different ways, whether it was goals, assists, creating chances, things of that nature. But for me, I was a midfielder growing up. So versatility for me is really, really important. And the ability to kind of be plugged into different spots, sometimes without notice whatsoever, is something that I truly, truly, truly value. So this individual kind of epitomized that. And he allowed me to kind of do some things that without him I just maybe wouldn't have been able to do. But this year's Eagle Award winner is Adam Kiernan. And then, like I said, touching back on the Most Improved Award, like I said, it was really difficult because the young men improved considerably. Like I said, whether it was some of the returners or some of the new players, there was a lot of growth over the course of the year. This young man, this award winner here, improved on the field, which is kind of a given, I think, with all the players. I think somebody said that in the office, if you train 5 days a week, naturally you're going to get better. I mean, it's just kind of a given. So all the young men definitely improved. This young man, like I said, most of the others improved in all those facets on the field, whether it's technically, tactically, physically, psychologically. But we kind of asked him to play a new position. And he's pretty reserved, pretty laid back. And this position asked him to be maybe a little bit more demonstrative, a little bit more of a leader, and take on a role that isn't natural for him. So in that instance, I felt his improvement was significant because it was kind of not natural for him and kind of out of his character, and that was Arya Rusnak. Okay, and then the Coaches Award. So, like I said, I'm pretty unique as a coach, definitely pretty demanding, but one of the things that I'm usually guilty of is having a lot of energy when I coach and clamor and jump around and carry on. So it's just one of those things that I think is really important in terms of the game. Coach Silva mentioned it, but you talk about passion, you talk about energy. Coach Cardozo talked about fun. And to me, you need energy to kind of do all those things and really, really enjoy them. So, for me, I think, when players bring energy to training, to games, it just makes everything better, for me. I think, there's one thing, you can have positive energy, you can have negative energy, but this young man for sure is about as positive as it gets. I think that goes without saying. And I think the one thing where you really notice it is basically if he's not on the field, there's an absence of that energy. So the Coach's Award for Borussia Dortmund this year is Camilo Moreno.
Congratulations to Adam, Ario, and Camilo. Next, I would like to bring up Coach Paez, Ricardo Paez. Ricardo has been with us for 2 years. Last fall, he coached Manchester City. Ricardo is also one with a prolific playing career. He played many times for Venezuela. He had a very good career in Europe, played all around the world as a professional, and has a lot of knowledge to give back to the young men who he works with on a daily basis. So without further ado, Coach Paez in Manchester City.
Good evening everyone. It's a great opportunity to be here tonight because we are rewarding all our players, our SIMA players. Don't be sad because you don't get a reward, because the best reward we can get is the whole year, the experience we earn during this year. I think everyone here had a goal when you start this year. And I think everybody here achieved that because I work with so many groups, especially my group that I work at the first semester, Manchester City. They were almost all seniors, talented players, that they were at the beginning very nervous because they wanted a scholarship. And at the end, this is what families want, to get back. And I think we did a pretty good job with them. Some of them had 4 years, some of them 3 years. But I think the program at the end pays off because it's not only about what they get, but about what they learn, all the values, and how they end up as a person. I hope you continue with all the values you get here at Montverde Academy because that's the best that we can give you. This year, at the beginning, I think with our team, we play a great soccer too. I wanted to mention that because sometimes you get results by just playing for the effective of the game, but know about getting concepts. So, in another hand, I think these players here are receiving an information that only at the professional level they can get. So that's another part I want to mention because it's very important on a study, but at the same time, on the soccer way, they are getting a high-level training that they will make a difference when they get to the college level. This year, my rewards in our team, I would like to reward the whole team because it was special. For me, Red Team, Manchester City, show a level that it's hard to see, it's hard to watch. They play a way of connection, a way of soccer that I really loved, and it's going to be very hard for me to get another team like this. Hope next year is better. So juniors, don't worry. And Kevin did a very good job after, so he got the reward like I did with Pablo, with Barcelona. So, but the reward, it's sad. I wanted to reward the whole team, but for me, the Eagle Award goes to Rodrigo Almeida. Most improved player goes to Daniel Cannon. Coach's Award to Jackson Walty.
Congratulations, Rodrigo, Daniel, and Jackson. Next, I would like to call up Fernando Argila. Fernando comes from Spain. I'll tell you an interesting story. Fernando came to visit his son a long time ago, who was working here, and immediately we had a connection, him and I both, to where we started talking soccer and sharing ideas. And from the day that I met him up until now, we have that same connection of exploring ideas, working with players. And what's interesting is he doesn't speak English quite well yet. So I've had to learn Spanish, but I know Portuguese because of my wife, so he speaks to me in Spanish, I translate in English to the players, I speak in Portuguese to him, and somehow we're able to create this magic on the field to win games. So Fernando has been a fantastic addition to the program. I can say with confidence that he's the best coach I've ever worked with in terms of his knowledge. He's a big reason why we're getting to the next level, and I truly enjoy working with him. And you all are very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with a coach of this level, with this knowledge and this passion. He's a machine. He doesn't stop. And one of his passions is, believe it or not, washing the uniforms in the laundry room. He tells me, we have a list of duties and we always switch, and he said, Mike, I want the laundry room. Because I think of ideas when I'm folding laundry, I think of ideas on how to future players. So there's not many people in the world that have this type of passion, this type of energy, this type of knowledge, and is not afraid to do the laundry. This is a humble person. We worked together this year with SIMA Gold. SIMA Gold has gone through some transition this year with the addition of the Orlando City Development Academy. But we've had some very good games together. And it's a very good group of young men who work very hard and sacrifice a whole bunch. And we have the 3 awards. The first award is the Eagle Award. This particular young man I met a year and a half ago, and I could tell right away that he was something different with his personality, his responsibility, his politeness, his training habits, and his overall persona. And I know when we're on the field, we're much better because he's on it with us. And this year's Eagle Award goes to Nico Hartman. Most improved player. In my mind, this particular person and this particular player has shown tremendous progression throughout the year to the point where I'm very comfortable recommending him to train with Orlando City's first team in the professional level at 16 years of age. And I have no problem sending him over there when Jason Christ calls me for players, because his progression in just a year has come very high. And one of the reasons for that is the way he's serious about his training, he's serious about his schooling, he's a very disciplined individual, he's a very responsible individual, and I have very high confidence that this player will have a professional career one day, and off the field, he's a fantastic person as well. The most improved player this year for us is Anderson Hauser. Coach's Award. This particular player is very unique, and Nando and I always joke about it because this player has a smile on his face if it's raining, if it's sunny, if we're losing, if we're winning, if he's hurt, if he's healthy, if he's playing, if he's on the bench. It's amazing that he's always smiling and always happy. And sometimes we actually want him to get a little bit angry because he just seems to be having so much fun, even in conditions where it's not really that fun. I met him also a year ago, and he has tremendous potential, this one. But most importantly, for Coach's Award, it's always a pleasure to be around him. He adds a lot to the training sessions, and we've come up with a formula that, because sometimes he tends to enjoy the environment so much, that from now on we're not going to tell him if he's going to start a game or not until 2 minutes before the game is supposed to happen, because sometimes he gets too lost in the fun of the warm-up. But this particular gentleman also has a very high potential, and he's had a very good first year with us. Maiola. Sí. One of the things about this program that nobody understands is the amount of work, time, effort, and energy that goes into making this stuff possible. And I am very fortunate enough to have a staff that is not only an experienced group of people, an experienced group of coaches, but also very humble, hardworking people who fight for the goal of SIMA every single day. There are times where we work 7 days a week from 8 in the morning to 11:30 at night. And no one complains. We bring a smile on our face. We get the coffee going because we love what we do. And I would like to take this opportunity to have all the staff members that work, including volunteers that have come and left their families for 4 or 5 months just to be able to work with us, including people that didn't get recognized coming up here because of their roles. But I would like all the SIMA staff members that work in this program on a daily basis to stand up, and please let's give them a round of applause. Please stand. I'm very grateful for all that you do. I'm very grateful for all the hours and hard work that you put in. I don't always get the opportunity to express that, but I wouldn't trade any of you for the world, and I truly believe we're onto something special and continue to promote what we believe in to get to the top, and that's the goal. So thank you very much for all that you do. One person that I do have to thank that doesn't get any credit for anything in this program, but is one of the big reasons why it happens, is my wife. She allows me to do what I do. She allows me to do what I do, to travel, to work with you on a daily basis, spend late nights here, games, trainings, meetings, and none of it would be possible without her supporting me in the difficult journey that we've had. And I really appreciate you allowing me to work in this environment and do what we love, because without a partner that supports you, it's not possible. So thank you very much to my wife, who allows me to live this life and be able to contribute and continue to grow this program. I would also like to thank all the people. I'm not going to name them personally, but there's also a lot of support people that make this happen. Headmaster Kessering, our Board of Trustees, in addition to our Dean of Students, Dean of the Upper School. There's many people that allow your experience here to happen. And you need to understand how fortunate you are to have support staff, from coaches to teachers to administrators, to allow you to have the type of experience that you've had here at Montverde Academy. And lastly, I'd like to thank the parents for trusting in us with your children. I'd like to thank you for believing in what we do, trusting the process, which I know is not always easy to do. But thank you for your support, because allowing us to do what we do really makes a big difference. And that's not always the case in many operations in the soccer world in this country. So I thank you for your support, and congratulations to all of you who have seniors moving on and graduating next week. Congratulations to all of you, and again, thank you for your support. Gentlemen, give your parents a round of applause, even if they're not here. Thank you very much. In years past, I always have the night of graduation. I always have sort of a celebration the night before. The program has gotten so big that I figured I would have this little talk with the seniors now and wish them well on their way, because I don't think we're going to get together this year, because now is a very good moment for that. To the senior class, one of the things that you have to understand about this program is this is not where it ends for you in terms of Montverde Academy and the soccer program. It's just the beginning. And one of the things you have to understand is wherever you go in the world, whether it be a professional level, whether it be at the college level, you represent Montverde Academy and you represent us. And one of the reasons why you have the opportunity to move on to college on scholarship or go to school is because guys who came before you left this program and represented us very well at the college level. Guys like Anderson, guys like Saul, guys like Diego Campos, who just got drafted into MLS. There's so many I could name, but they went on, used their experience and their opportunity at Montverde, and applied it on the field and off the field to the next level. And this is why, because of their success, you are now having this opportunity. And one of the things I ask you is to understand the knowledge and the education that you've received. It's very powerful for you to use when you leave. But make sure you always understand, as soon as you're part of this program, you'll always be part of this program. And you need to represent it with pride, you need to represent it with respect, and you need to represent it with class. Because your efforts next year, your performance on the field in the classroom, will open the doors for the guys who are coming back next year and the year after that. And don't abuse that privilege. Because trust me, Montverde Academy and SIMA around the country has a name that you carry along. So when you're on the field, I'm from Montverde Academy. Oh, this one must be good. This one must be responsible. This one must be disciplined. This one must be respectful. And you need to live up to that expectation because you always will represent us. And you're always fighting for this program to open up the door for the next guy who comes here for that opportunity. But also, you're always welcome back here anytime to be part of us or training, to come to the mast, to come to the mate. You're always part of this family, and I will always be here to help you, whether you're here at the school or somewhere else, because once we're your coaches, once we're your coaches, we'll always be your coaches. I want you to know that. And I've kept in relationships with all the guys that have left here, and I also, in their time of need, have no problems trying to do what I can to help. That's the covenant I make to you because you sacrificed at this program. I will always be there to help you, and you're always welcome back. But never forget that once you're in this program, you have a big responsibility to carry wherever you go. You need to make smart decisions and understand that any decisions you make, good or bad, could also affect what we're building here. And that's a big responsibility to carry, and one I know that you're ready to carry. But always remember your time here, because the education is a very powerful thing that you'll be able to use in college and beyond. And that's what I love about this so much. I'm going to read for the entire group some of the colleges that our seniors are going to. Let's have our seniors just stand up, please. Stand up, seniors. This particular senior class, some of the schools they'll be attending: University of Albany, University of West Florida, Notre Dame College, Marquette University, Palm Beach Atlantic, Marshall University, University of Chester in the UK, University of Pittsburgh in the ACC, University of Charleston, West Virginia, University of Central Florida, Seton Hall University, Hanover College, Butler University, Luther College, Appalachian State University, University of Rochester, University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, California State University, Dominguez Hills, Virginia Commonwealth University, Penn State University, Virginia Tech, Georgia Southern, Wingate University. In addition to Sheila Vakelis, who signed a professional contract in France, who's no longer here, Miche Ngalinya, who signed a professional contract in MLS with the Philadelphia Union, scored his first professional goal last night. Femi Mbagna, I'm not going to tell you which team he's signing for, but he'll be signing in July his professional contract. Taufik is on his way to Denmark to pursue a professional opportunity with schooling. There's a lot of good things going on here. And you all led us this year to yet another unbeaten season. That now we're 182 games unbeaten, dating back to October 26th of 2010, which is the longest high school winning streak, unbeaten streak in the country. And again, another national championship in the year of 2018. So I would like to thank you for all your work. For the juniors and sophomores and younger, these guys are all gone as of next week. So now the spaces are all to play for. It's very important that you know that some of these guys were here last year, where they were looking up at somebody who went on and they took their chance this year, made the most of it, and are on their way. And it's the same opportunity for you. For you guys who are moving on, make sure you understand the responsibility you take. And for the younger players, it's all to play for next year. And this is how this program continues to evolve. So I would like to invite all the seniors up on stage to get a picture. Mr. Onyewu, if you would join us as well for a picture. And please give the senior class a round of applause for all their accomplishments. also honoring the postgraduates. Excuse me. Thank you, gentlemen. In closing, I understand we have a short video that Mr. Gilbert would put on. Let's take a look. One last time, gentlemen, congratulations on all your accomplishments. I really do mean for the young players, you have all to play for. And for the guys who are going on to college, now's the time even to work harder. Because now you hit the real world with real competition. And now I feel you're prepared. And this is the point of the SIMA program. I wish you a happy graduation. Enjoy the time with your families. And for the guys returning, we have work to do. Thank you, Uguchi Onyewu, for being here. And thank you for all who made this possible. For me, it was a fantastic evening and one I look forward to again next year. Thank you very much. En la familia.